Beautiful.
It's a
Oh my God, that is a gorgeous dog.
All right, we are live, Rachel.
Okay, everybody, welcome. Welcome. We all missed the Comedy Cellar so bad. I just gave birth 2 weeks ago and I begged to host it. I'm not proud of that. And Estee is here, the great Estee, and Dean Edwards, and DC Benny, and Carmen Lynch. There's so many good people here. Usually there's at least a few animals. Keith Robinson is not here tonight. And I just want to go on record saying he's a bad, bad man, and I feel safer that he's not here.
What did he do now?
I know, it's good to have somebody like him to trash, you know? Like, I really like to dissect his ignorant points because it makes me feel slightly less ignorant.
I can hear his laugh now. Ah, ha, ha, ha.
By the way, I just had a baby. You can hear her crying. And Keith kept telling me that he kept going, Rachel's so dumb, she's going to have a baby in an Uber pool. She's the only person taking Uber pools during a pandemic.
How's it going with the baby?
Yeah.
My husband has her right now.
Okay.
That'd be sad if I was just leaving.
I just was thinking, what if the baby's crying and you're just like, you'll be here.
I gotta tell my jokes. I gotta do my skits. Feed it.
Your talent show.
Gary Vayner.
Where are you, Carmen?
I'm in the car. I'm still in Connecticut, but everyone's having dinner, and it would just be bad to be loud right now inside the house.
I love that. So you just crept out to the car?
It's just easier. It's nice and air conditioned. I'm very comfortable. I do a lot of calls out here.
I respect that.
Yeah.
DC, I saw you were renting out your house, the beach house. So
is that where you are?
We're out in Long Island. We've bought
wait a minute.
You're not in Long Island.
You know where in Long Island he is?
Right.
He's in the Cape. He's standing like this. Otherwise, he'll be in the water.
Right. Wait. DC, when you said Long Island, I was like, okay, let's be more specific for the viewers. Yeah.
In the north.
So, are you looking to rent it out?
Say it again, Estee.
Are you looking to rent it out?
We found we bought a place for renting we gutted it. We did all this work to it, and it's like a little beach house. And we've been working on it for about 2 months now, and now it's ready to go.
So you're gonna live there while you're renting it?
No, we live here, and this is about 10 minutes away.
Oh, so you bought another property. Yeah. Oh, okay.
That's nice.
Yeah. Super nice.
Did you
rent it? Did you rent it?
Yeah, it's through September in a week.
Wow.
Cool, man. That's nice.
That's great.
Nice.
So,
nice.
You're very lucky because people really don't have that much money right now.
Right.
Well, we kept it really, like a real affordable price, and it's just a nice, simple little place. It's nothing fancy, but it's right by. It's a block from the beach. You walk to the beach. You walk to town.
That's beautiful.
You can take the jitney there. You can take drives. It's like
that sounds fantastic.
Yeah, man.
I want that. I want somewhere to.
I want to rent it.
I know.
Right. Want to rent it in 2 years.
Discount.
You know, DC, your wife runs a tight ship because I remember going to your house and being so impressed that she kept all these white things without stains on them. Like, it was amazing.
They don't have kids, Rachel.
Well, you're right.
Right.
Look at this. Yeah.
They don't. They have only a cat and a dog, I think.
Two cats, and the black cats get black hair off on everything.
DC, how old is your cat? He's
like 10, and the other one's
about
14.
Wow.
Is 10 old for a cat?
That starts getting there.
14 is.
14, definitely.
Yeah, 14. But the last one we had till he was like 17. It just knock on wood. that
Yeah.
like, you got the cats, the
They
dogs.
can grow quite old. My roommate had a cat named Captain Pancakes, which is the only reason I'm telling this story. And she isn't that a great name, Captain Pancakes?
that's a
She's
great
like
name.
17 or 18, I think. Yeah, she's in
Oh,
the.
wow.
You would think she's in the winter of her life, but Pancakes is going strong.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
we have a black cat that just we just took the cone off his head. He had an operation 2 weeks ago.
Oh, the
He had
cone.
he had what, a UTI, and this is where I swear I'm not working a bit out, but, or am I? No, right?
There you
But
are.
he it showed me that we've progressed, because when I was a kid, if we brought our pets to the vet and they said you're gonna have to spend $1,400, you would have gone home and your friends would have been like, oh man, I'm sorry you don't have a cat anymore, you know. But we
Tell you the
actually,
truth, from nowhere. When was it? Today's what? Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Monday.
Wednesday.
For no reason, my dog was lying down and started crying, like whimpering at first, and then really crying. I was freaking. What happened? Check his paws, his teeth. I mean, he's a puppy. He's only 6 months old.
Oh wow.
And so I rushed to the vet. The vet was closed. So I had to take him to an emergency place.
Mm.
He was crying so loud in the car. I mean, I had no idea. And so we get there, and you sit in the car, they come and they get you, the vet, you don't go, hi, Gina.
Hi,
what's
Gina
up,
Leon.
Hi, Gina.
Oh,
And so they asked me what happened. I said, I have no idea. He just cried, like, but loud. Checked him out, all the vitals, everything is fine. She says, I have no idea what's wrong with him. She gave him something against anxiety, because I was already looking ahead the whole night with him, crying like that. Nothing. Next day, everything is fine. Cost me $200
What?
Oh my God.
just to say
That's so
hi
weird.
to the
Oh
no
wow.
diagnosis, no problem, no nothing.
Wow.
I don't know. And my son says he's playing us.
He
I
made
said, come on. I've
made
never
me-
even heard that an animal would play you.
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird.
They use
I don't know
like-
much about animals, so.
we had
He
we
was
had a cat in
so bad, so bad. I thought maybe a tooth is hurting him, maybe he pulled a muscle, maybe something, because she checked him out. All his vitals are fine. Everything's fine.
I thought you were going to say he had a UTI.
If he did,
I too thought UTI right off the bat.
yeah, and then she says, well, I can run blood tests, but that costs $375, and it probably won't show anything. If he's not better in a day or so, bring him back. We'll do it. He's perfectly fine.
Wow.
But it's
Now,
like,
do animals have health insurance?
huh? No. When we got him, I told my son, we need to get health insurance because Rose, in the office, our Rose, her dog, I think, swallowed a sock or something.
Oh,
And he needed a surgery. It cost her like $6,000.
Oh, man.
Oh Jesus.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, there's pet insurance. I bought my ferrets.
Yeah.
I'm a ferret owner, so I bought my
Yeah.
ferrets to the
Huh.
hospital one time, and it was the first thing they brought up was like, you should get pet insurance
Yeah.
because
Well,
It's
I
like
had one
expensive.
with my previous dog, and
yeah.
everything that I put a claim against, they said pre-existing condition,
Oh,
cover anything. Now he is a puppy, so maybe. But yeah, I think we're gonna get it because it really gave me a scare.
yeah.
Those vets are so expensive.
They're insane. We had this cat when we were growing up called Mojo. And when she died, my brother, you guys, I'm not making up this story. So my brother was babysitting, because it seems like I'm gonna make it up. I'm making this up, but I'm not. My brother was babysitting for this kid, and he wanted to go to the beach for the weekend. So he told the kid's mother, he was 15. So he told the kid's mother that his grandma died and went to the beach with his friends. He was an animal. He's now a better person. But anyway, so the woman called my mom. My mom answers. She says, the cat dies, right?
Oh,
She
no.
says, Karen, I'm so sorry about your loss. I'm so sorry. My mom goes, oh, please, you know, she was throwing up all over the place. We had to keep her in the basement. My mom thinks this woman is talking about the cat. But my mom, I mean, the woman's talking about my grandma, but my mom thinks she's talking about the cat because the grandma isn't dead.
Oh my God.
That's
So my
a great
mom goes,
picture.
oh, please don't worry about it, Kathy. She's been puking all over the basement. She has no
Oh,
quality
that's
of life.
great.
Oh, that's so
So
funny.
old anyway.
That is so funny.
Oh no.
And they somehow finished this conversation without either of them finding out that it was a dog or a grandma. And so, I mean, a cat versus a grandma. So then
Yeah.
the woman sends my mom a card saying, I'm so sorry for your loss. Didn't mention, again, mother, anything like that. My mom's like, that lady's just strange. I told her, you know, it was like a week later. We just told my mom, like last Thanksgiving. She's like, she thinks I'm a bitch. Damn it.
Wow.
Like, oh, please. She's puking all over the place. I mean, it was, she had nothing.
Lock her in the basement.
It was easier for her this way.
Yeah.
What are
Isn't
you
that
doing?
insane?
Estee, I love how your dog is looking at you.
I know, he's
Right,
just
that's love.
Oh.
What's his name?
Tony.
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 Oh,
We
Oh,
got him with the name, so and we didn't change it.
yeah.
he came Tony.
Yo, Tony.
Tony.
Tony. Yo, Tony.
Show
He's
yourself.
very
Show your
Stop
beautiful
playing
face.
games, Tony.
Show your beautiful face. Come here.
So beautiful.
I have heard that huskies can be very melodramatic. Like I have
Well,
heard.
he's a Pomsky. He's a
He's a
Pomsky, but
Oh, he's a Pomeranian and a husky?
he looks more like a husky, but he's
Yeah.
a Pomsky.
Oh man,
A
you may have,
Pomeranian and husky.
you may have a
I just
dog
learned
name.
something.
I know, I don't,
Hey,
I'd never heard of that until
me neither.
right now.
it's
Oh.
one of the new whatever.
They're the
Oh.
cutest things because they're small like Pomeranians, but
He-
they look
well,
like
Oh, okay.
he's medium. He's not that small, but
yeah, I
yeah,
can see.
he's not going to be as big as a husky.
Yeah,
He's a
Is
good
he-
sized dog. He's a perfect sized dog.
yeah.
Is he gonna get bigger?
I don't think so. I think this is it. Oh, shut
Well,
up.
there's a. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
He's very
It's not
opinionated.
important. I was just going to say my niece's hamster died today, Alexander Hamsterton, and she was really sad. And they're going to get her a dog, so she's very excited. What kind of dog should they get?
I wanted for my grandson a small, like a lap dog, so he can have his little friend, whatever. But somebody whispered in his ear about the pumpkin. He wanted a pumpkin. That's
Yeah,
what.
I think a lap dog is probably the way to go. Like something super docile.
Yeah, but you have to understand. It's now my job to walk him and
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
As
right.
long as I'm here. Sorry, my phone. I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
It's like her phone is going off.
And the
Oh,
dog
cute.
follows. Tony follows her.
Tony's
That
like,
was
that's my cue.
Hold on,
Tony's
kid.
like, I'm out of here.
Hey,
What were you
hey,
gonna
kid.
say, Carmen? I cut you off with
Oh no, it's okay.
Alexander Hamsterton.
I'm still in Connecticut, and there's a bear. Like they get a memo in the neighborhood when things happen, and they got a memo yesterday that somebody saw a bear. Now I already knew that there were bears out here, but I didn't know it was going to be out here while I was out here. And I was like, well, fuck that. I'm not going for walks anymore. And my boyfriend was like, let's go for a walk. And I was like, as long as my boyfriend's here, you know, I feel safe. And then this woman let go of her leash of her black dog, and this big thing started to come toward us. And I swear I thought it was a bear. It was such a big, I don't know what kind of dog it was, but it was just a big, black, furry, super friendly, but it just started coming towards us. And I just stopped because, you know, you're supposed to stop when you
That's
see
how
a
they
bear, and then
refer to me.
what?
Big, black, and furry. That's what people see when I'm coming.
But I just stood there. I was like, oh, it's a dog.
Is that how people react when Dean comes too? Do they go like that, Dean? He's so tall.
He's-
Hey guys, any of you participated in the demonstrations and marches?
I drove by one on Flatbush Avenue on Sunday, and I was like, "Oh wow, they look hot."
Yeah.
And then I went. I was like, you know what? But you know what? Last week, Keith, I'm blowing up their spot. So I was unaware that last Tuesday was the blackout day.
Yeah.
And so, because I remember that I think July 7th, they were saying we're gonna boycott stores and we're gonna black out. So I was like, okay, I had that in my calendar locked in. I felt like I was down with the cause. So Monday night, I do this live podcast on IG Live, and I'd done like 3 hours. I did like one of those Godfrey sessions where I just went all night. So I woke up Tuesday morning. I said, "Oh shoot, I have to promote. I'm doing this Nowhere Comedy Club thing on Friday."
Man.
So I said, let me make sure I put that post up. So it's me with a big smile, and I go back to sleep. About an hour later, I wake up, and I go on Instagram, and I see Lamore, the photographer. Lamore posts a green a black box. So I thought it was a video. I thought it was video at first. So I sat waiting for it to load. I was like, oh, it's just a black box. Then I scroll down and I see another black box. And then Mark Thieber. So I see all these, and I was like, so I was like, oh. Right after that, my phone rings, and who is it but all of our loved friend Keith Robinson. And I know I know what's coming. He answers, I'm like, hello. It's like, Dean, stop acting like you're asleep. I know you're awake. I said, what's up, Keith? He's like, Dean, what's today? I said, it's Tuesday, June 2nd. He's like, dummy, you know what today is. I was asleep and Marina woke me up out of my sleep and said, Keith, you got to put a black box. So I put a black box, and then she sends me a screenshot of your dumb face smiling, selling tickets to your show. Hey, yo, they peer pressured me into taking it down. We spoke for about 30 minutes, and every 5 minutes, Marina adds, it's funny. Dean's sitting here laughing, we're joking, but the picture's still up there.
Yeah, I forgot about it too. And I said, why is it something wrong with my phone or something? And they said, oh no, it's the Black Tuesday, blackout.
Right.
Tuesday. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keith called me trashing me with Joe DeRosa because if it makes you feel any better. Because I put up a picture of like some people shielding, like some black protesters shielding white cops, and then under it, somebody wrote something like, oh, that happened in my city. I don't remember what city it was, but I was like, oh, I had some good shows there. I was like, I'm such a dick. And then Keith was like, God damn it. Well, look what we have here. Look at Rachel's little comment. I had some good shows. Did you?
Oh my God. Keith
Like,
is just
Joey,
stalking everybody's page to comment
Nothing
on
gets
it.
past him.
Nothing.
Oh, he
He's on
trashed me for a
patrol.
good hour. Here's the baby.
Oh, the baby.
Hey.
Look, showing her bow.
Oh, this is her first podcast,
Oh
right?
my God, it is
Oh,
her first podcast.
Baby's first Zoom.
Oh,
Hey.
Oh,
She's
she's
been wearing this
beautiful.
bow all day that Pete's mom gave her, screaming with the little bow, and it's pretty cute.
so cute.
She's so cute.
He woke up. I know.
Aww.
Hold on one
Aw.
Yeah.
That's how I feel when I'm on a Zoom too, kid. I understand.
Yo, and shout out to Brion because I watched that Amazon Prime special
Yay!
while
I got
cooking
to
this
see
morning.
it.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Thank you so
That's
much.
awesome, Gina. Congrats.
Yeah, man, it was good. I enjoyed it.
That means a lot, man.
Well done.
So far, all the
I
responses
mean
been good.
Angelina.
Thank you. If you call me by my
It says
government name.
Angelina.
Right.
Oh,
pardon
you
me.
guys, this
I
is
love the
Todd Berry. The Comedy Cellar sent me
no.
bibs of Todd as a gymnast.
That is amazing.
No, that's
Very
not
funny.
real.
Oh yeah.
Very
Oh,
funny.
people.
Wait,
That
that
is
is not
another one.
real,
Who's
right?
that? Get him the other ones. They're in my room in the diaper bag.
That is amazing.
So the Cellar sent me bibs of Keith, I think right before he was eliminated from Star Search.
Oh my God.
And then Norton.
Jim.
I think it might have been a mugshot of Norton. I'm not sure. Maybe it was a driver's license. And Colin and Todd and then Liz wrote, "Please puke on all these deviants for me."
Hold up, but why would Norton enjoy it?
You're right.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't win with that one because he's gonna love it.
Right.
Wait,
You're right, that's
Todd's
all
is
he
real?
wants is
I
to be
totally
debased.
thought that was photoshopped of Todd. I did not know that was real.
Well, no, that is not his body. Liz.
Oh, okay. I was gonna
Oh,
say,
there's-
like, was
there's
he in
Keith
high school?
Robinson.
Was he in
Oh
gymnast?
my God.
Oh,
There's Keith.
Look at the flat
that's
top.
awesome.
Philly.
Circa
That's-
1988. right?
Rachel, that poor baby is gonna have such a complex and nightmares.
Oh my God. That's so
Come
funny.
on.
Oh, wow.
great.
Wow. I've never seen Norton with hair.
Me either.
Oh
That was
yeah,
a
I
first.
remember him with her.
That was a first.
That's
Yeah.
like out of the Breakfast Club or something. He's so
Right.
80s.
Sam
Oh
Morril.
my
Yeah,
God.
that's funny.
Damn.
Wow,
Oh, that's
Sam
great.
Morril, I love it. That is
Is that
awesome.
a real picture of Sam?
It
And
could be,
they're
honestly.
pacifiers too, you guys. Her favorite is Todd Berry, which I don't know why it makes me a little uncomfortable.
She loves
only
Todd
wants a
Berry.
Todd Berry pacifier.
Well, he's very agile, as you could see from the bib. And so I can understand the allure.
Those are hilarious.
Those are great. Oh, can't wait to hear that.
Oh, you will.
I know.
Be careful
Oh my
of
God,
what
when do
you
you
wish.
do? When do you do?
Yeah, when
Uh,
are you due?
July 17th. Oh, he's in full
Ooh.
effect. He is in full
Oh my
effect.
wow.
gosh.
He is in
Oh.
full effect right now.
Wow.
How
You
are
know,
you feeling?
Gary Vider had his baby too.
I know. Oh, I saw
Oh,
the
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Was
So
it a girl or
cute.
boy?
So did Noah.
picture. You know, little boy.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
no, they
that's
had
right.
those too.
Yeah.
They had a little boy.
Also.
Did Gary have a girl or boy?
I think a boy.
Yeah, I think a little boy.
I
I'm
think
having
the
a
girl
boy.
one with a girl.
I'm having a little boy.
Are you excited?
I'm excited and scared out of my damn mind. I'm excited, but also like, ugh. Every time he moves, it gets more real. Like I'm just like, ew. Oh God.
Rachel, how old was your how much did your baby weigh? When
7 pounds 4 ounces.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was I mean, she would have been bigger. I had a planned C-section because Pete's mom said to me, "The Brennan head will shred you. We have big-headed boys." Yeah.
That is great.
I didn't know
I was
you
like-
could choose to have one. I thought you
Oh,
could
yeah.
have- Oh, okay.
I was.
That did it.
I
She
was
was
going
like,
to
I
have
was icing for weeks. The Brennan head crush you. I was like, I've heard enough. That's no. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you. You sold me. Thank you very much.
And then, well, and that was specific to the Brennan head. All right. So keep that in mind. I didn't mean to scare you. He has a big headed family.
Yeah,
Massive irrational heads.
I was considering having one, like planning a C-section, and then my doctor was like, well, the recovery time, well, maybe you can give me more insight on that, because he was like, the recovery time is so long.
I mean, I feel great. I wanted,
Yeah.
I hated being pregnant. I was like in a lot of, I was like, found it really uncomfortable, but I would do it again for sure. I mean, the first few days were rough, but like, I mean, and when they were doing the surgery, I heard one of the doctors say to the other doctor, she wants a tiny scar. And the other one was like, I know, she only told me 100 times.
Well, who would want a big scar?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I don't think.
Order a tiny scar? Why even bother? Like, why doesn't everyone order one?
Why would you not
Yeah.
ask for one?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you know that's an option, like, yeah, by the way, give me the tiniest scar possible.
But the scar is so little. And I'm not in very much, I mean, you just take ibuprofen. I feel so good.
Okay.
So I don't know. But people are really attached. And a lot of people get very upset when they have one. And for me, I just wanted, especially with Corona, I wanted everything as controlled as possible, because we wanted to get
Right.
out of the city. And there's so many elements. Like, you know, what if Pete gets called in to, he's a fireman? Like, there's just so many different things. And so I just wanted to have it really controlled, you know? But for me, I mean, I feel like a lot better. We did a Zoom salsa class today.
That's great. When did they let you?
Amazing.
When did they let you out of the hospital? Like
They let us out 3 days later, and we weren't allowed to like leave the room, which I thought would be weird, but it was actually really nice because nobody, you know, there's a lot of parts about it that are isolating and hard, you know, and like I miss my friends and I want to show them her little outfits, like her Run DMC onesie. I'm like, I have nobody to show this to. It's painful, but but the fact that like it was just us kind of was nice because, you know, you don't feel good and people are visiting usually. It's a lot, you know. So
was it because of COVID? Because of COVID, they sort of restricted. Okay.
He wasn't allowed to leave at all, and originally he wasn't even allowed to come into the delivery room, but they changed that policy.
Oh. Wow.
So, but it was very like we both had to take corona tests as we were right before we got there, and I had a lot of anxiety too because I was afraid of some weird experience. But they were really lovely, and
That's awesome.
I felt like I still feel really grateful to them because they taught me so much. I was like, I knew nothing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, have you been sleeping? Like, how's that going?
Well, yes, because Amy gifted us with a baby nurse. So we actually sleep a full night.
That's great.
Wow.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
What's a baby nurse?
She's up with the baby and she
comes in and actually.
Yeah, she sleeps in her room and like gets up with her when she cries. So I'm also not speaking from a full place of reality.
Right.
I was about to say that.
Yeah.
Well, like that.
But you know what? It's a reality you can do without.
Yeah.
Yes.
I never had or even heard of a baby. I've heard of nannies and sitters, but not someone that. What time does she show? Like, what's the baby nurse's hours?
Well, she doesn't want to leave because she's extra careful because of Corona. So
right.
she's afraid of being like exposing the baby.
Exposed,
you know. So
yeah,
she just stays here.
Okay.
All the time. So again, I'm not living in a reality, certainly not one that I would be able to have for myself, but she teaches me everything, you know, like and then I feel like such an animal because she's so neat and clean. The other day I go in her room, I sit on the bed, she's like, oh my God, are you bleeding? And then I look down, I realized it was chocolate from a protein bar that I got over her perfectly pristine quilt on her bed. I was like, I'm such a pig. She's like, oh no, you're bleeding. And then it was like, I got chocolate all over this lady's bed, this perfect woman.
Girl, you never admit that. Just tell her you were bleeding. Just tell her.
I should have said I was bleeding.
Don't just go with it. Get the sympathy. Just tell her you were bleeding.
Now, are you gonna keep her until your baby turns 18?
I want to keep her so bad. I want to be rich so bad. I'm gonna weep. You're gonna see a whole different me. If she leaves, I'm gonna be rocking and chain smoking out a window.
Right. How long did Amy cover the expense? Because she's gonna get you addicted to the habit of having a baby nurse.
I already am. She gave it to us for 2 months because she was worried about us with Corona and everything.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's so great.
I mean, it's one of the most incredible things anyone's ever.
Yeah. Shout out to Schumer for that, man.
Yeah, it was so.
So I'm feeling pregnant right now.
I need a nurse just to like get me.
We all need nurses, right? a snack nurse.
Yeah. Snack nurse.
I know she has really soothing advice. Like she always tells me what tea to drink and like when I need air. I need somebody telling me when I need some air, you know?
Yeah.
Is she old? Is she an older woman? Younger?
No, she's like probably close to my age. I mean, she's like our age. I mean, I don't know. I'm deciding we're all the same age, but she's not old and such a better person than I am. Like I got a seamless order the other day and she prayed over it for like 20 minutes. Like
so she's West Indian.
Yeah, I'm like, so she's Latina then. So you've got an ethnic night nurse.
She's Filipino and she's Filipino.
She's
a much better person than I am.
That was our
Wait,
fourth guess.
Yeah.
Usually, don't they? Wait, if there's no COVID, don't they just come at night and like leave early in the morning? Don't
Yeah,
they just like sneak
they would
in?
come. They would come
Yeah.
and leave, but she's so careful. She wants to. She sterilizes everything and like boils all the water before she puts it in the. I mean, yeah, she runs a tight ship. Thank God.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But are you feeling like does it feel real?
Sometimes, honestly, like sometimes I'll just pleasantly forget that I'm pregnant, and then he'll move and I'll be like, oh right, there's a thing inside me. And
Yeah.
then it becomes all real. And then when I'm going to bed at night, it's all I can think of, because when I'm laying on my side, I feel him moving more. And so it just becomes more and more real as every night that I get closer to my due date. I'm like, I'm going to be in the hospital giving birth to a baby. I'm going to be a mother. Like all of that stuff goes through my head. So I talk to my mom about stuff, and my mom is so funny. Like that's my mom. My mom asked me if I was going to breastfeed, and I said, well, I don't know. I was like, I'm undecided. I don't know if I'm going to breastfeed or not. And she said, well, I didn't do it. And she kind of said it like, you turned out fine. Like you don't have to do it. And I was like, well, Mom, I wouldn't have known that if you didn't tell me that you didn't breastfeed. But I'm on the fence in terms of breastfeeding and trying to learn as much as I can so that I'm not as petrified of the due date. Because it's the scariest thing to me is childbirth. Like that's the scariest thing. Being pregnant, cool. I've loved it. Haven't had a day of sickness. This has been dope. This is amazing. Love it.
Wow.
Yeah. Not one day of
Really? So you feel comfortable the whole time? Wow.
Yeah, but I was also very conscious of, like, I did a lot of meditating because they said that helps with keeping the baby calm. It also is supposed to help with any discomfort. So I did a lot of meditating, did a lot of prenatal yoga, talked to a lot of my girlfriends, and was like, well, how's the best way that we can do this so that I'm not uncomfortable 24/7? And I really wasn't experiencing a lot of discomfort until this trimester. My last trimester,
it's so hard.
It's been uncomfortable. He's heavier, so my hips, he's 5 pounds. So it's like having a 5-pound belt around your waist constantly. So he's just sitting on my hips, and I'm like, my man, can you just lighten up just a little bit off my joints? Because you're hurting me now.
I love that you're talking to him like he's on Westchester Avenue in the Bronx. Yo, my man. My man, I'm gonna need you to fall back a little bit. Done.
Lean up off my nerves real quick.
Yo, word, guys, son.
You're on my hips. You're on my hips, my man.
Right. Hey,
Really
Gina, what's because I'm a man, so I've never experienced it. So what's your reluctance to breastfeeding? Because I always assume that's something that women wanted to do.
I heard it hurts like a motherfucker.
Oh, the pain.
I heard it hurts. And I'm just not one that walks willingly into pain. Like, okay, cool.
Right.
And so I just heard that it hurts. I heard that it's difficult. It's hard to get. It's not like 1, 2, 3. The baby doesn't automatically start breastfeeding. It's like you have to learn how to get the baby to latch on to you. It's a really complicated process. So for me, I was like, and I'm just a person that gets nervous and feels like I'm tested all the time. And I'm like, I'm going to fail breastfeeding. I'm going to fail it. I have no faith in my ability to get this baby to attach to me.
Fail breastfeeding.
I'm going to be in there and the nurses are going to try to get him to attach. And I'm going to be like, I failed. I'm sorry. Please don't take him away from me. I promise I'll get better and learn.
Well, if you fail, it's okay because I failed.
Okay. See, my mom said she didn't want to do it because you had to be so strict with everything. She was like,
that's what was scaring me too. Yeah, like I did it in the hospital for a couple days, and then when I got back home, because it's like I want everything you put in your body goes right to the baby, even more so than when you're pregnant, which is scary. Right. It's like I also just like miss like I don't know, just drinking like Coke and being in that was I should not have said that out loud.
No, that's honest though. That's real. That's real.
That's honest though.
It's okay.
You want your own body back. You want to be able to just slam things in your face without having to think about it.
Yeah, like you spend 9 months already monitoring everything that goes into your body because you're so scared of messing it up. And then like afterwards, I totally get why it's like, no, I don't want to do that again for another what? Like my sister breastfed my niece for 6 months. before she tapped out. She was like, I'm done. I can't. This hurts. This sucks. I don't want to do it no more. And she only did it because supposedly it helps you burn more calories. Like my sister literally did it to lose weight. Like my sister
I
was,
heard that. Yeah.
Did it work?
yeah, it burns like 500 calories every time you breastfeed. So if you're breastfeeding
Wow.
2 or 3 times a day, you're burning a lot of calories. So a lot of women do it to get their bodies back to where they want it quicker.
I'm gonna
But-
try that.
You know, I Googled something about breastfeeding when I was like researching it. And one of the first things that came up was, can my husband breastfeed from me? I was like, what? That was like one of the first, check it out, you guys. I'm not making this up.
That is,
What?
And then I
What?
looked
Put it
at
on
more,
their
and I
Captain
was like,
Crunch?
It's one of the top things people Google is, can my husband drink from my
who
rack?
was it that didn't David Cross drink his wife's breast milk? David Cross
did?
drank his, yeah, he was on camera and I think he posted it, David Cross. He posted it on his Instagram or something that he drank his wife's breast milk. And I was like,
Anything
Like on
for
a
the gram.
on a regular basis, or
apparently he loves it.
Oh no,
Oh my
wait.
God, no.
what?
Only speaking, breastfeeding your husband, boyfriend, or partners. I'm good.
Oh wow, that is
Nah, son.
Wow.
that is an
And
interesting.
then when I asked Pete, I was like, do you know that this is, and he thought I was asking him if he wanted to drink. And he was like, oh, I'm good. And I'm like, no, I'm not inviting you.
This wasn't an offer.
Yeah,
I'm
he's like, yeah, I
inquiring.
think I'm all right. I'm like, no.
What if he was like, you know what? I did have a hankering for some breast milk. I'm glad you brought this up.
What do you think, DC? I think we're all looking at you now.
Yeah.
Weigh in.
Breast milk. I'm learning an awful lot here.
That's,
You're not the only one.
this is why DC has cats and dogs.
Yeah, I love being an uncle. That's my gig.
Right, right.
All that breast milk, being lactose intolerant. I don't know. It would not end up well. But it's, yeah, I've heard of that. I didn't know that David Cross thing. That's pretty bizarre.
It's
Was
crazy.
he doing shots of it, or is like just like,
Can you imagine? He just keeps throwing them back. He's like, this stuff is great.
Ew.
I don't know how, I can't remember how he did it. I do remember watching the video because I was like, it's one of those videos that you see and you're like, I shouldn't, but okay. And you watch it and he talks about, he's like, it's fine for adults to drink it. And he just like drinks her breast milk.
It sounds like he drinks it like all the time with his coffee. Like it sounds, the way you're saying it, it sounds like he like uses it for his cereal, for not like he just tried it once.
Yeah.
Right.
Now that's his hazelnut creamer.
His regular occurrence. That's his regular occurrence, is just drinking her breast milk. It was bizarre.
And he wasn't being funny.
No, he drank it on camera. Allegedly, that was her breast. It's not like it was in a cup that says breast milk, obviously, but like he drank what looked like a breast milk looking like liquid.
And then the baby stopped breastfeeding, but he kept drinking.
She will be lactating forever. Actually, she'll never stop. He will make sure that she never stops lactating. What a crazy thing to do! What a crazy thing to bring up to your spouse. Like, can I drink your breast milk? Like, oh, why would you bring that up? How would you even find that out? Like that? Oh, I don't. You know what? I don't want to know. Forget it. Forget the question. I don't want to know.
Maybe I have an idea. he was like, babe, what if?
Gina, what if your husband asks you? What are you gonna say?
I'm a team player. That's all I'll say to that. I'm a team player, Carmen. That would be my response. If a request is made, I shall honor it.
Oh my God.
Like it with a little vodka and he won't.
I'll make him a little white Russian.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I wanted to drink, you know?
Yeah. That's the thing you miss.
DC, can I ask you, are the beaches around you open? Or is there restrictions?
They have some restrictions. You got to be. It's a weird like catch-22. You got to be a resident to park there, but you can come there and hang out, but you just can't park your car there. So there's no way, unless you're an avid cyclist, you know, that's the deal. But they're open, but it's mostly, it's mostly residents.
Local residents. Yeah.
You know, they're open.
So
They're,
it's not
Where are
too
you at,
crowded,
DC?
huh?
say again?
So it's not too crowded.
No, it's not crowded at all. It's
That's
not
great.
crowded. At all.
Hmm.
That's
Are you in
great.
Florida, DC? Where are you at?
No, I'm in Long Island, in the North Fork of Long Island. So
Oh, okay.
It's all the way.
it's like 2 hours out. You know,
Okay.
before Montauk, before the
I
Hamptons.
didn't think they were opening beaches over here. That's crazy.
Is it? That's why I'm asking.
Hmm.
It's before Montauk.
Way before Montauk's another hour and a 45-minute drive.
Really?
You know, from
Damn.
here. So it's on the way. It's like, you know, right at the end of the
But
LIE.
it's pretty secluded though, right?
It's very secluded. That's the way I like it. I like
Right.
it.
Wait,
Right.
did you live there before COVID?
Yeah, what happened was we lived in Brooklyn, and then we spent, you know, back and forth, but we happened to it was just random that COVID thing came along. We were moving out here anyway, and we just got out a little bit earlier. But yeah, it's pretty quiet. But it's nice. It's like, you know, I mean, I feel like I'm in a little bit of a bubble because I look in my old neighborhood in Brooklyn, like what's going on, like, you know, with all the demonstrations and
Yeah. We were over near your old crib because you were in Dumbo, I remember, right?
Yeah. And then
we were over there last week. Yeah, and definitely more congested than the North Fork.
Yeah, it's crazy how different it is. But there's a lot of people from Brooklyn here, and a lot of people from, you know, a lot of Robinson Crusoe types that just kind of.
Oh yeah, I bet.
They can't take it anymore. They can't take.
So let's say you want to do sets. It's gonna take you 2 hours each way just to come to the city.
Well, I have to figure out something. I'll probably crash at a friend's for the weekend or something. You know?
I see.
But the weekdays, I'm kind of shot. You know, I'll have to figure out. There's a Governor's out here, and like.
So you want to stay there indefinitely?
I mean, I love it here. I don't know about going. You know, it's a lot of change for me. A lot of change.
You're Chappelling it.
How safe is it?
This is my Africa, man.
Yeah.
How safe is it if you stay in the city for the week for your wife to be alone there?
Very safe. It's very. We have a big 100-pound dog, and it's very. We're on the main road. It's very safe. She's got a lot of friends here too.
She does.
You know, so. And it's like she doesn't particularly like this city anymore. You know, we've been there years and years and years. So she's, you know, it's.
How did you come to pick this place? I mean, this is not a common thing of just, you know, driving by and say, oh, you know what?
I found it on Craigslist. I found an old car for like $1,500, and the lady said it was out here. This was years ago. So I came out here and I thought, well, what a cool place. I never knew about this because it's not the Hamptons, it's farms. You know, it's farms, vineyard, and beach. And I always wanted to live by a beach. So we eventually started renting out here and coming out to this. There's a place called the Silver Sands Motel, and we came out here, and then we eventually got a place about 7 years ago. And then we thought we'd be here once in a while, but we were here every week. As soon as I was done with sets in the city, boom, Sunday morning, I was out till like Tuesday or Wednesday.
Wasn't there traffic and murder though?
It depends when you drive. If you drive on a Sunday, if you drive during, you know, the peak times, it can suck. But it's, if you can generally anticipate if you drive on off hours, it's fine. You know?
And how is that? Are the stores or anything there?
The stores just started opening today. My wife's got a store out here and she just opened it today. So now, you know, you have like 8 people can come in at a time. You got to wear a little mask.
Your wife is still doing the facial thing, right?
The bath and body stuff. Yeah, she has bath and body stuff. Yeah. And I help her with it. I help mix
You
it.
got a sweet shop in Brooklyn.
You know your spot. You know your position.
I I just showed Pete a video of you telling this story about renting out this apartment. I'm not going to try to tell the story and mangle your bit, but it was hysterical. We were both crying.
Oh, thank you.
That's why he just started walking towards me. Like, is that the guy? I'm like, yeah, that's the guy. Yeah.
That's me.
Crying.
That's the guy.
Yeah. Yeah. He heard your voice. Wasn't
Oh,
you were dying.
Well,
so funny.
I'm happy for you. Good for you. You know.
I know, that sounds really nice. A lot of people are leaving New York.
After living in Brooklyn and in the city and working in the city, it's got to be a tremendous change.
It's a huge change, and I mean, I have to, you know, it's like, it's a small town, and that for me, I always wanted to get. I didn't want to be in a small town. I wanted to be in a city and around the energy and comedy and this and that. But now, I went to the grocery store. And this guy said, "Hey, you left your lights on." This guy, a stranger, came up to me and said, "Hey, you left your lights on." And I said, "My car? I didn't leave the lights on." He's like, "No, in the downstairs bathroom." It was like everybody knows where you live. Yeah, that was so weird. It seems like I drive by your house all the time. I see you with the dog.
That would make me feel soiled somehow. As a woman, I think that question would be less.
That's a little too much.
Yeah, that would be less quaint to hear that as a woman. Yeah, that's.
How close is your closest neighbor?
Say one more time.
How close is your closest neighbor?
Oh, probably 100 feet. The guy was a chef who lives next door.
Because I'm picturing like total pitch black everything. The one house here, White House there.
There's it feels like, I see people walking and things like that. We're on the main road. If you go up and sometimes in these woods a little bit here, there's nothing. There's nothing. It gets very steep.
I would be a little apprehensive. I would be a little bit afraid.
I would be a little scared too. I remember talking with Christy Stefano once about living in the country versus the city, and he said the funniest thing. He's like, "I don't like nature." I was like, "That's the best thing." And then he goes, "I don't trust it." I was like, "That's the funniest thing I've ever heard. I don't trust nature." He's like,
"But
I don't
you can't.
He has a
trust
point.
Nature.
Yeah.
And when you're used when you live in the city, because that's what happened when I remember when we first moved up to the suburbs, and coming from New York City, you're used to noise, sidewalks, lights. You're used to recognizing it, your familiarity. So I remember when we moved, when I was a teenager, moved up to Westchester, up to Yorktown Heights, and we lived at the bottom of we were the back house in a cul-de-sac, and behind us to our left were trees and to the right were houses. And if I was down the block and hanging out at my friend's house too long, I would ask people to walk me to my house because there were no side. It was just dark, and I never liked it. I never liked just hearing crickets and birds, which is in a way is sad because you're supposed to be comfortable with nature, but we're so used to the concrete jungle.
I used to maybe the gunshot
looks right now the cheese in one of those places. Look at
it's so beautiful here. It's so green, but it's true. You can't trust nature because it's
that bear is about to jump on your face.
Right.
The bear, and then a deer, we saw a huge deer just like cross the street the other day, and John and I were like, oh, like it was just, it could have totally gotten run over by a car. We were walking, but it was huge.
Oh,
it's beautiful.
I like a beach, but I feel like if you found me in the woods, something's gone awry. Like I don't like to be too deep in the woods. I don't care for that.
Yeah.
The woods are creepy. I'm not one for the ocean either because stuff lives in there. I've never felt comfortable stepping into the ocean or swimming in the ocean.
I love those type of places, but I like to get back.
Right.
Me too,
right.
Yeah.
That's
I don't know that I could do it, 24/7 for life.
Right. I like it's nice to go and experience it and disconnect and be one.
I agree.
I told my therapist that's my escape plan for when I finally snap. I said, I'm going to move into the woods, into a cabin, and you're never going to hear from me again. When I finally snap and I break and I'm completely broken as a human, That's my escape plan. Just me, a pickup truck, and a giant dog.
Yeah, and how about your baby now?
You know what's funny? I
My
love
husband can take care of him.
She didn't mention her baby or her husband. She was like,
I know she's ditched them both.
Did you hear
Have a
that?
Golden Girls style house.
My escape plan. That was my escape plan.
right.
I don't know
There is
what their
something
plan.
very so nice about nature. Like, it's weird. It sounds so hacky and hokey and whatever, but to stare at the trees and the birds are chirping. It's really pretty. It's really nice.
Pretty for about 7 minutes.
I hear you. I'm ready to go back, but nothing's open. So
I know. I wanted to ask, does anyone do comedy? Anything to do with comedy?
I did a Zoom show or two, and it's very uncomfortable, but you know, it's the only outlet that we've had. So I did like 2 Zoom shows, and
how'd you like them?
they were good because they had audiences. Liz Mealy's was the most fun because Liz does like Liz has a new joke, like a new material thing that she does where the audience is muted, but they are watching the show and they're watching us work out material, which was actually kind of cool. The other show I did was I forget it. It wasn't Nowhere Comedy, but it was something like that where it was like a comedy club that's online, and I was just like, it was fun, but would I do it again? I'm supposed to do Ray Ellen's, I think, coming up because he asked if I would do his, and I was like,
when is that?
okay. I think Friday. Friday is
where?
Oh, this Friday?
Yeah.
As he wants to go.
You sure?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's this Friday.
I'll be back.
Does anybody heckle on these online shows? That would be the one nice thing. Less drunk. No, they heckle.
Yeah,
they text heckle too.
They text heckle.
What is she doing in her car? You know.
Yeah. It's like, but most of them have bouncers. Actually, there was one, the one that I did would monitor the comments and would monitor the people, and if you acted up, you got muted and kicked out of the room. So they're monitored. Yeah, they are monitored. That I will say. So that helps.
The comment hecklers are rough though, because I remember watching. Remember about a month and a half ago, I think Comedy Central did a fundraiser for comics or whatever, and I turned to I think it was on YouTube, and the hecklers, just the Twitter fingers were killing like Bob Saget and just really just all of the comics.
Yes.
Because you know what, it was a fundraiser. But most of the people didn't understand that the people that were participating were not asking for money for themselves. So it's hard. It's hard for some the average Joe that's sitting home watch to understand that Whitney Cummings in this floor to ceiling glass wall is saying, hey, donate money, and people like, yeah, like I'm gonna give a millionaire comedian, like you don't need the money, and I was like,
it's
I
so
don't need
funny how much they think comedians make. It's so funny what they think that our annual income is.
Right.
We're like, no, just because I've been on television before, I'm still struggling to pay rent, guys. Like I
mean, there's such a range. Like comics, there's such a range. You can't say, because
I remember a few years in, I was on stage. This guy was like, if you're rich, why do you dress like you're poor? And then I was wearing these dumb overalls. I'm like, because I'm poor, I'm not rich. And then I was wearing these dumb overalls, and he goes, get off the stage, Super Mario Brothers. And it still hurts. You know how some heckle hurts for years?
Oh my God. I had a guy heckle me once at New York Comedy Club. I was probably about 18 or 19 years old. And he stood up in the audience, this tall dude. He had to be like 6'2", 6'3", looked just like Jar Jar Binks if it was a person. And just like, he just goes, boo, bitch. That was his whole heckle. He just goes, boo, bitch. And he did it over and over and over again. And I told Adam Ferrara this story when we were working on Kevin Can Wait. And the next day, Adam just texted me, boo, bitch. Like, he just sent me a text message. And I'm like, why did you bring up my trauma?
But sometimes it's the simplest things that hurt the most, right?
Yeah.
Do you have a heckle that still haunts you, Dean?
You know what? Not me, but I remember Kevin Hart used to host a room in Atlantic City called Sweetwaters.
Yep, I've heard of this room.
Yeah, and and if they didn't like you, they would throw chicken bones on stage at you. I never had a chicken bones. I'm not gonna say the comic, but I know a couple of cats that got boned on stage, man.
Marina
boned is amazing.
Yeah. You got boned on stage.
Somebody threw a ketchup bottle at Marina one time. She said in a Brooklyn room. Yeah, she said she was in a Brooklyn room and somebody threw a ketchup bottle at her.
Oh, that's Brooklyn. That sounds bad.
I had a soft taco once.
You had
No
what?
way.
A soft taco. There was a sadness to how it fell because it just kind of stumbled off.
Because it just lifted.
My chest.
Ew.
You had a flaccid taco roll off
It's got to
you.
be so unnerving when you're on stage. I remember once Haiti was on stage and somebody took a napkin, crumbled, and threw it, and we had no idea what he threw. I mean, I remember jumping all over the guy, and Haiti was taken back because when you see something flying at you,
Yeah.
you're not
Yeah.
sure what it is.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
This has got to be, a ketchup bottle. My God, it can really hurt.
Yeah.
Really
Bottle,
hurt.
the
Yeah.
glass, or whatever.
This is why DC is out in the North Fork right
That's
now.
right. No one's throwing anything.
Only sand is being thrown. Sand.
Right.
Nothing as dangerous as a ketchup bottle. Somebody jumped up on stage with me once when I was in one of those one of those comedy rooms that
Somebody
was in the
told me
back
a
of a
story
restaurant.
about Dangerfield. I can't remember who it was that somebody jumped on stage and
Crazy stuff
Yes,
happened over there.
Crazy shit used to happen at Dangerfield, especially for prom shows. You could be easily assaulted.
yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
terrible.
I had a burn victim hop on stage in Kuwait one time mid set. This dude, because it's supposed to be dry and there's no drinking.
Right.
So when he first hopped in, I was on stage at that point probably like 30 minutes, and this guy just walked right up the center aisle, jumped on stage, and he launched into, "Yo, my man, Tupac Biggie." He started doing the whole "Here I'm going to relate to you," but he was a muzzle bound dude. But when he got in the light, pork rind, like the whole side of his face was burnt up. And I was like, what's going on? And I thought it was one of the promoters' people that was just playing a joke. So I rolled with it. But then I saw on the side of the stage, they were all pissed. And I was like, oh, this dude. And at that point, he started kind of talking out of pocket. So in my mind, I was like, I don't want this dude to get in, because he was drunk. And it's illegal to drink over there.
Headed over there for that.
Yeah. So and I didn't want that on my conscience. So I was like, hey man, yeah, good. You got to go now. Because he didn't. Yeah. So he eventually got on stage. But we all of us experienced like you could have a million great shows. All it takes is one person to stand like.
And you're gonna remember it forever.
That is so true. Yes. That is so true, Estee, because I remember being on Last Comic Standing, and I said to Mike DiStefano, I was like, how come I can read a million nice comments, and it's the mean one that just haunts me. Yeah. And he was like, because that's the one you believe. And I was like,
yes. That's
oh my God, that's so deep.
Real. It's a good point.
That's so real. It's always the negative that we believe. It's never the positive.
But the truth in it is you got to take the crooked with the straight. I remember Hugh Fink said he got me, but it taught me a lesson. This is maybe second, third episode of SNL. He's like, oh man, you got to see what they're saying about you online. They love you. And so I read maybe 3 or 4, and people were, oh man, this new. And then it took was one guy saying, oh man, I can't wait until the show. I see they're doing Celebrity Jeopardy. It's gonna be awesome. And then scroll down a little bit. He's like, dude, I just watched the Celebrity Jeopardy. Who's this Dean Edwards? He's awful. God, he stinks. And right there, I learned, don't go seeking the positive, because the negative, if you take the positive, you gotta take the negative.
Yeah.
They sent in
don't listen to any of it.
They sent in
Exactly.
some reviews for the special I did for Amazon, and they sent
Uh-huh.
them in just like, "Hey, these were reviews," and most of them were positive. The only
Right.
one I remember was the condescending negative one. That's the
Yeah.
only one that stuck out in my brain was, "Oh, why did this guy?" He was like, "It's nothing inspiring or amazing, but if you want to pass an hour, like the whole piece was basically like." Just pass your hour with this. And I was like, that's not at all what everybody else is saying. But that's the one that
Right.
stuck out in my brain as
Yeah.
I read these. And I was like, okay, well, that's what I get for reading these in the
Right.
first place.
Right.
I did the same thing when I was on the Breakfast Club. I made the mistake of reading the comments.
Oh no, you should have known. You should
I
have
know,
known
but
the
you can't
Breakfast Club.
stop yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
And it
Hell
was
no.
that
Yeah.
was an amazing special too, Gina.
Don't
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it really was.
But you're right. You can't help yourself but read the comments and be curious. And
Yeah.
now I have
It's
to
human
purposefully.
nature, and you
I
do
have.
want to have the support and the pat in the back,
Yeah.
and you are hoping for it, and you're thriving on it, and it's
Right.
not gonna happen if you open it to public. There's
Yeah,
gonna be
but
somebody
Right.
just that tries to be contrary and
Right.
nasty and mean, and it's not probably even true.
yeah,
Right.
it's
Well,
easier.
People, they're just losers who want to be trolls.
I know, and sometimes you can know immediately they're losers
Yeah.
by like their screen name. Like some guy on YouTube, his name is Mr. Twat Waffles. And
That was Keith Incognito.
I was Keith stalking us all.
But a lot of them have like a closed account, like it's private.
Mhm.
Or they have like no followers. Yeah.
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 They're not followed. You're the only one they followed. Like they created that account just to
Right.
shit talk you,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
which is what
This
amazes me.
guy, I don't want to make him famous, but he came a couple of times to the Olive Tree, and he's trolling a lot of comics. And I threw him out. I actually threw him out. He's so mean.
Good for you. I'm glad you threw him out.
But,
Guys
but a
like
lot
that
of
need to be thrown
When I
out.
see you in person, I'll tell you who it is. I don't want to give him any
Yeah.
platform.
right.
Horrible.
Well, also a lot of it is born out of someone that has a repressed comic or repressed whatever. You know, a lot of people that
They think
if you don't have the courage to get on stage, you're going to sit on the
Right. They
sidelines
gotta
and
shit
critique.
on you. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Someone is critiquing this right now, saying there
We
was too
don't
much pregnancy
care."
material. Right. Right. You know,
We thought it would be
guys.
funnier. Yeah.
I'm gonna check out. It's 9:33.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
is it?
yeah.
Okay.
It was nice
yes,
seeing
we all
you.
should.
Bye.
Yeah, you
Love you
too.
guys.
Thank you so
Be
much.
safe.
I
Love
miss you
y'all.
guys so much.
All right. We'll
Love
see
you
y'all
guys.
soon.
Yes,
Bye.
we love
Love.
Can't
you.
wait till we're back at the
Love you
table
back.
complaining about this
Yeah.
stuff
I
in person.
know.
Right.
I want to be back
Right.
at the table complaining about
Right.
drunks on the road. I love you guys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Love you
Love
too.
you.
Take care of the baby, girl.